So what we're gonna do, first off, we're gonna do slow flight first. But before we do any VFR maneuvers, you have to clear the area. So what I'm gonna do, Razgar is,
Yes.
what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the left. So what I want you to do is look to the right to make sure there's nobody there. All right. All right. First 90 degree. I'm gonna go 90 degrees. I don't see anybody around us. You see anyone around us?
Nope, your right is clear as well.
Alright, I'm gonna go to the right.
No traffic below us as well, nothing on the right.
Alright, perfect. Alright, so I'm gonna go on the 180 heading. And we're gonna go from there. Okay. Alright, area is clear. We've already cleared the area.
Make sure
Alright,
you announce
so
it on CTAF the maneuvers we're gonna be doing here. So we're gonna be over Lake Carl Sound.
Is that what this is? Lake Card Sound? Yep.
Or actually,
traffic November 724 Hotel Golf. This announcement we're going to be doing maneuvers over Lake Card Sound. Alrighty. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to do slow flight.
Yep.
Alright, so we're going to do this is where you're going to put one notch flaps all down, slow down the plane a little bit. So the idea is we want to be just above stall speed. So we're below 85, so we'll go ahead and just dump all these flaps.
Always anticipate that nose going up when those flaps come down.
Yep, so, alright, so the idea of this is to do not stall. So right now we are going 55 indicated airspeed, 68 ground speed. So the turn, so give me a heading.
Let's go,
so run the,
what are we right now?
We're at 180.
Let's go 210 to the right.
210? Alright, so when you want to turn with slow flight, you have to do baby. So you do not exceed 10 degrees on the bank because you're going pretty slow and pretty much the airlines are almost ineffective. So, alright, we're losing some altitude, so we'll kind of bump up some power.
Let's go left to the east.
Hey, let's go 090.
Yep.
Alrighty. So we'll do a left turn. 090. Put that nose down.
Also make sure your turns are coordinated. The turn slip coordinates are centered with your plane. Because if you uncoordinate a turn, especially in a slow flight, you will stall out and spin.
Yep. So bump up some more power.
Alright, perfect. Alright, let's go ahead and recover from the slow flight.
Alright, immediately to 20 degrees, full throttle. Alright, airspeed is building up. We want to get that positive rate of climb. Positive rate. 10 degrees flaps. Airspeed's building up. Positive rate. Alrighty. Airspeed's building up. Come on, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Alright, back to 3,000.
Alright, I'm ready.
Alright, let's... Perfect.
Alright, next one's gonna be, you wanna do the power on or power off stalls?
We can do a power off stall. So power off stall, we are simulating, we are landing, and then we are stalling. So basically, for this maneuver, you have to form a descent. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slow down, put one notch flaps. We got a descent going on. Start leading off the power.
It's once you reach like 2,500, you go pitch up to flare, and then that's when you...
It's 100, and the ACS is 100, yep.
Okay.
All right, so we are below 85, so we'll just dump the flaps. All right, so what you want to do with the power off stall? So 65, so just bring up the nose to about 15.
You're gonna hear that stall horn. Remember to keep it
Yep. Yeah.
turn slip center.
All right, and there it goes, full power. Now in the sim, it's a lot more dramatic. The plane's not gonna like nosedive to the ground, but whatever. All right, immediately to 20 degrees. All right, make sure we get that positive rate. We got it. 10 degrees. Make sure we got that positive rate. All the way up. All right. Let that airspeed build up.
Let's go back to 3,000 and then we'll do a power on.
Yes, sir.
And if you want to go to a heading of, was it 330? Just so we're
330?
Yeah, we're gonna be staying in the Little Lake area.
All right. Let's slow down some power.
Oh no, your engine went out. Oh no.
Oh no! So what are we gonna do? All right. So best glide speed in this plane is 65. So get that nose up.
Okay.
All right. So best place to land. So what's the best place we're gonna land? All right. So obviously I see a fill to my left.
Okay.
All right, and that's what I'm gonna go for. All right. So checklist. We'll pull out our checklist.
We got Alpha.
Yep.
Airspeed
So we got our.
Bravo. Best glide.
All right, so we're gonna make sure what we got is our mixture is in, our fuel selectors on both, ignition, crank, 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 crank. Okay, it's not working. All right, then what we do is we get on the radio. We're not going to, but we say like, Homestead traffic, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. November 724 Hotel Golf is engine out. I'm gonna have to put this on. And then back to your flow list. All right, so it's not coming on. So mixture would come all the way off. Your fuel selector would be off. And then ignition would be off. I wouldn't do the master switch just yet. And the only reason why was so you can still try to communicate. Now, when you're committed to land, then turn the master switch off and then unlatch your door. And the reason why you want to do that is because if the plane crashes, at least you'll be able a way to get out. There's nothing worse than trying to get out when your door is jammed in.
Just less chaos.
Yep.
Alright, so you got that runway in sight? Your best place to land?
Yep, I got my best place to land is...
Make sure you always full commit to your best place. Do not go anywhere else. Do not think about anything, but just focus on that, because if you deviate from there, you're pretty much assed out.
Yep. And then now we use some flaps right here, just kind of slow us down a little bit, but we can do it steeper. And that's it. And so once we get to 1,000 feet, we'll recover. And I feel comfortable we would have made this landing.
I also feel comfortable we would have made this landing as well.
Yep. Alrighty. Probably dump in some more flaps. And then another thing you could do, if you really had to, though I wouldn't do it at 20 degrees, I would do it at 10, you can also forward slip this thing all the way to the ground if you really needed to. Alright, so what we're going to do is recover.
Alright, recover.
Alright, not going to put up the flaps just yet. Get that positive rate. Put that nose down a little bit, positive rate. We are going up. 10 degrees of flaps. Positive rate still there. Full flat, or full 0 degrees of flaps. So the best thing to always do when you have an emergency is think of these letters: A, B, C, D, E. A, your best airspeed for glides, your best glide speed. So the Cessna for this one would be 65. Or actually, I think it's 68. Yeah, it's actually 68 according to this. Sometimes they're 65. Really depends on the Cessna. So about 65 to 68. Your B, you want your best place to land. So piece of grass. A lot of private pilots, student pilots make a mistake. They'll find something like way out over there when they could just use a land like right here. That may just be like act like that's a traffic pattern and do some street spirals or something like that. But obviously, guys, if you're watching, if you see a runway that's closer, don't take the field that's way past the runway. Come on now.
Please land on
and
that
then
runway.
Yes, and then use your checklist and communicate. Checklist. Use your checklist. If you have a flow, do that flow, but also use your checklist as well. D, declare. Mayday, 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 whatever your call sign. You just do approximate, doesn't have to be accurate. I'm 15 miles from Homestead Air Force Base, whatever. And E's executes. So if you are committed, do it. Obviously, you're going to be committed. You don't have a choice. Your engine just went out. So that is the A, B, C, D, E. Usually it's ABCs, but add that DE in there.
Is there an MOA in front of us?
Is there an MOA in front of us?
I see a blue magenta.
Nope, there is not. There's no MOA in front of us. But we are in the Mode C Veil. So what is the Mode C Veil, my good people? Mode C Veil means when you are near a Class B Bravo air base, you have within the 30, if you're in this Mode C Veil, you must have ADS-B out and Mode C. Mode C is your it's an old transponder, does altitude, and I believe it does airspeed, and then ADS-B out is more sophisticated. It's more in real time. It's what pretty much everywhere is going to now. That does airspeed, that does altitude, that does your call sign, and that does other things as well. If you get ADS-B in, which that's what this has, the G1000, what that does is it gives you like weather and traffic radar, yeah. So always make sure when you're within 30 nautical miles of the Class Bravo airport, you have to have ADS-B and Mode C on. So in real life, it would just be alt, and they will be able to see it. But for VATSIM, you must have your transponder on. But always make sure, folks, that you remember if you're VFR, you have to get clearance to get inside the Bravo. That is a big thing. So if you are not in any communication with ATC, well, you better.
You better get a hold. Right.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you're ready, let's go do a steep turn to the right.
Alrighty, steep turns. So with steep turns on the private level, so you want to make sure you're under your maneuvering speed. So in this plane, maneuvering speed is below, is 105. So we want to say below 105. We don't want to go above that. And the reason why you don't want to go above that, because anytime you go above your maneuvering speed, you're at risk of structural damage. So.
And where's the never exceed speed there on the airspeed indicator? What is that referred to as?
So the never exceed speed, so it's going to be red for this plane, this exact plane. I have no idea. I know the one I fly in real life is 157, which I'm pretty sure it's the same way. So if we were to go really freaking high and we go past the yellow arc, yes, you would see red. Never exceed. The name implies never exceed, okay, because you're at risk for structural damage. All right. So we're on the 210. Good left, good left. All right, let's do it.
Use that side picture. Don't let that altitude drop. that's money. Look at this guy.
All right, roll out. All right, now we'll go to the right. Stay coordinated.
Watch that rudder, watch that rudder.
Yep.
There you go. I think ACS is plus or minus 50.
Sorry? No, it's 100.
100? Okay.
Alrighty.
No complaints there. Let's go. Alright, now you have an engine fire on the right wing. What do?
Oh, shit.
Right,
So,
there's a whole fire.
so we have an engine on the right. So the best thing you want to do is you want to shut fucking all the gas off. Why? Because you don't want the shit to blow up and start catching on fire. So anyways, we got an engine failure. You want to go idle, okay? So everything is off, fuel selector's off, mixture is off. Alright, so let's go 45 degrees. And the reason why you want to do this is trying to get the fire out.
You're basically using the wind as your anti-fire device, as your fire extinguisher.
Yep. And then do some S-turns. Kind of helps out a little bit.
So what I was taught is literally you just do a steep turn all the way down until the fire goes out.
You can do that too. You can do a steep spiral, and you can also do S-turns too. Just make sure the biggest 3 things to do: turn off the gas, turn off the fuel selector, and make sure you go to idle, because you don't want to do this. Full power. Look at that airspeed. Look at that airspeed.
And what's that speed called where you might exceed?
Well, right now it'll be VNO,
There you
so
go.
that's maximum structural speed. So if you're not in smooth air, and we're in bumpy air, and you go all that, you're at possibility of risking structural damage. So make sure you go to idle, my good student pilots.
And then how do you know what type of fire is electrical and what type of fire is fuel?
Well, I mean, it does have a distinct. Have you ever smelled electrical?
Yes.
Okay. If you see a fire and it smells electrical, it's probably electrical. If it's a fire in the engine, it's pretty obvious it's fire in the engine. You would see the flames.
Okay.
So the biggest thing is when you're in flight is to get that nose down. Make sure you're on idle. Turn off all the shit, because yeah, you don't want to catch everything else on fire. Gas. Remember, folks, gas equals fire.
Schindels are they're a commercial maneuver, right?
Yeah, it's a commercial maneuver. I can show you a lazy 8 just for funsies. Alright, so you see this straight road right in front of us? That dirt road or whatever the hell that is. Hold on 1 second.
That maneuver starts up at 3,000 as well.
Sorry, I was on the phone. This actually just have to be 1,500 feet
Okay.
above the ground. But we're gonna go up to 3,000. But you see this long road, or I guess it's not really a road. I guess it's a what is a lake? Stream?
Yes. To the right.
Yeah.
It's a little stream.
All right, we'll go up to 2,000. 2,000's fine. All right, so we're gonna build up some airspeed. All right, so what we're gonna since this is a straight line, this little dirt thing right here. Once we go over that, and then we'll do what's called a lazy 8. So basically, you'll see what it is. And I'll try to explain it as I'm doing the maneuver. Alright, let's wait until we get over it. Alright, we already cleared the area. Remember that. That's a big thing. Just clear the area. Alright, biggest thing is make sure we're at 100 knots, around 100 knots, which we are.
Yep, 97, 96.
Alright, so now we are over the runway, or push up 30 degrees, about 15, oops, 70, and the plane's going to naturally want to slice, so let it go down, kiss the 10. Alright, and then we've covered. Now we are over to the other side. Alright, plane wants to naturally slice, so let it slice. Level off. That's basically the maneuver. Those are called lazy 8s.
Alright, and then while we're here, we can also do an S-turn. You want to go and simulate an S-turn here? We can use the same road. The winds are going to be... Where's the winds?
Well, yeah, we've been working. It's really right behind us.
Right. So let's go...
Actually, no, the winds are, yeah, in front of us, I'm sorry.
Okay. So we can make a turn on the right, and then we'll start the maneuver on the headwind line.
Okay.
Or if you want to use another road.
No, we have to use a tailwind. All right, so we use the same road. So do say at 2,300. Someone's at a house in the middle of nowhere.
I was like, I'm not the only one that sees it.
Alrighty. We're not judging you, folks. Okay.
A house is a house.
That's right.
There we go.
Alright, so the way to enter this, you have to be on the tailwind. Obviously, you can see on the PFD, we are in the tailwind. So once we go over here, you want to do your steepest bank. And then once you kind of level out, moderate, and then a shallow bank. So let's do it right. How about now? Alright, steepest bank.
That's going to be picture for 30 degrees. There you go.
Yep, watch the ground speed, that's the biggest thing. So now we have a headwind. So now, wings level over the road. And now what we want to do is the shallowest bank. Because remember, we have a headwind.
Let the wind push you over the side.
Alright, and then the steepest bank.
There you go. Fun.
And that's it, folks. That's called an S turn.
And then
wings level.
Let's do turns around a point around the house, and then we'll call it.
Alrighty. You want to end it with an instrument approach?
Yes.
Alright. So, turns around a point, just exactly what the name implies. So we'll find something at our 90-degree point, and we are low enough, I believe. Yeah, we're actually, you really have to be super low, but it'll be okay. Alright, so let me find something. Let's go find that house.
Yeah, okay, I think it was
let's go see what old buddy's doing.
What is he up to?
I don't know. And remember too, guys, when you are banking, remember you're trading vertical for horizontal. So when you bank, the nose is gonna you're gonna be losing altitude. So make sure to pull the nose up when you bank. That is a biggie. Now, when you start to go in like big jetliners and stuff like it with fly-by-wire, then not so much.
Your components of lift. That's what's gonna
Yep. All right, so we're not gonna do just yet. What we're gonna do, we're still on a headwind, so what we're gonna kind of go around, and then I will announce when we are actually on the maneuver.
Is that the house left of you right now?
Yep, that's the one we're gonna use. Okay, so that is it right there?
Yep.
Alright, so we're gonna wait until, let's get... start on the downwind, and then we'll call the maneuver started. Let's begin. Alright, going into a headwind.
Yep. Shallow turn, shallow bank. Bam, that's a perfect circle on the map.
Nice. The thing is, you always want to be making a circle.
Don't ever
The
stop.
moment the moment it starts looking like it's flat, then it's not a turn around a point now, is it?
Damn, that's a perfect circle.
And there's actually a
gates.
trick, to this maneuver. So you want to, each segment is 90 degrees.
Right.
So basically what you want to do is try to do an imaginary line that would connect all 90 degrees and basically just follow that path. That's a really big trick.
Did we see you draw a line like directly over the house?
Yeah, just imaginary line connecting from the house and then going straight out on the 90 degrees. Like just straight out, and then you kind of just follow that.
Oh,
And that's it.
that's a cheat
And
code.
that is a cheat code. Alright, recover.
Good stuff.
Let's pick that nose up. Alright, folks. Now let's do we're gonna do an RNAV 2-4. So what you want to do is you want to get out, make sure you have all your stuff. So procedure. I want to wait till I get very configured out and stuff. So I'm gonna get up to 3,000, and then I'm gonna put the autopilot on real quick, and then get situated to look at my chart. Turn autopilot on, get that ready. Let's just tell me that it turned off. Alright, damn it. We'll just wait. It's just yelling at you saying the autopilot's off.
Yep, that's that yellow indicator at the top of the E1000.
Yep. Alright, so the reason why I'm going up to 3,000 is because the first thing we're going to do is we are going to be doing, we're actually going to do vectors for this maneuver. Actually, no, we're going to do the full procedure. So we'll do the full procedure and do a full stop. So anyways, the initial approach fix is Wirgo. So basically what that means is that on the chart, you have to be at 3,000. So you start the maneuver at 3,000, and then once you pass over Wirgo, since you're doing the full procedure, you're doing what's called a hole in lieu of procedure turn. So basically what that means is that you go over Wirgo, you go out about 4 nautical miles, heading mode. So you go about 4 nautical miles, and then you would turn around. So now I got my autopilot on. I need to push back at way too much RPM. So we'll do 2,400. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go over to your procedure, select approach. We are going to KHSC.
Kilo Hotel Sierra Tango.
Yes, sir. All right, Homestead ARV, we got it. All right, so approach, we're gonna do the RNAV 2-4, LNAV plus V. So I know this is at a private pilot, and we're just doing this just for funsies. But for my instrument people, LNAV plus V, that is your lateral navigation plus vertical guidance, meaning that, yeah, it's going to pop up on your PFD, that a glide slope, but you need to verify that's actually accurate.
We're doing the RNAV 2-4, RNAV GPS 2-4.
Yep, and we're going to start at Wirgo. IAF means your instrument approach fix. Or initial, I'm sorry, your
500?
We're gonna use Sparrow. And then minimums for this is actually gonna be 400. It's 400 feet. So it's basically, that is 395 feet above the runway.
So 400 feet. And then we're going to activate it because we're going to go ahead and use it. All right, so now we can click navigation, and then now it's going straight to Worgo, as you can tell. So we have 17 miles until Worgo. So at this point now, you can just brief it. So if you have your approach plate up, we know that this is valid. January 5th, 2024, it's valid. This is RNAV 24 into Homestead. We have all of our radios completed. So the final approach fix is going to be 235. We don't really have to do anything like changing any course because this is an RNAV approach and the GPS will do it itself. Worgo is where we're going to start at, so we have to be at 3,000 to start this. We're doing what's called, there's 3 types of entries into a hold. So the way we're at right now, we're going to be entering through as what's called a parallel. So once we pass over Worgo at a 55 degrees, we'll go out about 4 nautical miles, and then we'll turn around on the 235 heading to intercept the course inbound. Once we get to Worgo, our final approach fix is Kahoo. We just have to be at or above 1200. However, a glide slope will come in. We'll follow that down. However, this is plus V. So what we have to do is we have to verify it's actually true. So you're going to look at our chart to make sure we know at Kahoo we have to at least be above 1200. At Kahoo is our final approach, or our final approach fix, and that's where the glide slope will really take us down. So our D8, our minimum descent altitude, is 400. So the missed approaches is going to be right at the beginning of the runway. If we were in the clouds and we hit 400 feet and on our GPS we're right at the runway and we don't see the runway, we don't see the approach lights, guess what? We're going around. Or actually, we're not going around, we're hitting our missed approach. What is our missed approach? Well, on the chart it says climb to 800, then a climb and left turn to 3,000, direct Joman, and then hold. And then the ATC would probably tell us, whatever. Now, in the real world, most of the time, you never do the publish miss, unless they're just ungodly busy, and then they stick you in this thing and hold. So what I like to use is this acronym. It's called SCAMMER. SCAMMER is source, course, altitude, missed approach / minimums, R is for radios. So you'll notice once we get source, it'll pop up if it's LNAV plus V. It's just once we get a little bit closer, it'll pop up that. Our course, we already know it's 235. Our altitude, we're going to follow the glide slope down. We've already set the altitude. And the missed approach, we already said the missed approach. Our minimums is 400. And radios, we've already got our radios. So we're good. And that's it. And then kind of just wait. We're not going to make it until 7 minutes to Worgo.
7 minutes. So sit back, relax, and thank you guys for coming along.
Yep. Looks nice out here.
It's crazy. Oh yeah, it's perfect. Until the weather comes in.
Yeah.
It gets real ugly. Damn, well, that's gonna be a super steep turn off Worgo.
Well, like I said, as long as you stay in the protected holding area, that's all that matters. So
yeah, that circle beyond it. Oh, basically what I was doing yesterday.
Yeah, so but the thing is, the GPS, just do what the GPS tells you, because the GPS is there to really help you out. You see on the screen, the PFD, if you zoom in, okay, you see how the diamond under the G is coming in?
Yep.
Alright, so that's just letting you know that that's coming in. Now, once it gets bold magenta, that's your actual glide slope to go down.
Gotcha.
But
so right now it's trying to acquire it.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Because
the RNAV is like basically it's a computerized approach. So it's not it's like so an RNAV approach is kind of like an ILS, but it's more computerized and it's a little bit more sensitive, I believe. So, all right. So what we can do in this, you can always go over the approach plate again. Doesn't hurt to go over it twice or 3 times in my head. I'm not gonna do it again because I'm pretty confident I know what I'm doing. But it's a good time to check your stuff. Everything's in the green. See, fuel flow is still in the green. Oil pressure's in the green. Oil temperature is a little high. That's okay. It's still in the green. EGT is good. Vacuum's in the green, and we still have enough fuel. I like to get on and check out the lean. So if you zoom in, I zoom in on the MFD.
The MFD?
I like to, yeah, the MFD, the second one, the second screen.
Yep.
I like to keep that, the EGT, right around, on your screen it says 1170, and I think it's just because of the sim. On mine, if you notice, it's 1410.
That's probably a little bit.
So, yeah, I try to keep your EGT under 1500. So we could actually, if we really wanted to, we could actually start. We can actually start leaning it out if we wanted to. So if you leaned it out, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can wait till the engine starts getting rough and then rich it. You can also see how the RPMs is kind of going up a little bit. I don't know if it's showing on your side.
Yeah,
But on my screen, yeah, see how it's going up.
yeah.
So you can keep going back, going back, going back, going back, and then once it drops, that's when you okay. Like right now, I hit peak EGT. So now I'm just gonna enrich it just a little bit, not that much, and that's it. And that's good for like and that's good for like because in the POH, once you hit above 3,000 is when you want to start leaning. But on a hot day like this, doesn't hurt this kind of leaning out, you know?
Oh yeah. You're wasting gas.
Yep. I believe that's Miami in front of us.
Beautiful, beautiful Miami.
Yep. And my good people, as you know, if you're looking at your chart, we are in Class Bravo. However, in the real world, I've already asked ATC for an instrument approach, and and if they say it's approved, and then they give us everything, then we're okay. We don't have to get clearance because they've already given us a clearance. I like IFR procedures. I'm a very analytical, procedural person, so I just like procedures and stuff like that. I'm weird like.
So much fun. There's so much shit to do.
Oh yeah, it's always gonna be on your game. Luckily, we're not in the clouds, so we don't really have to look out or look in a lot. But all right, let's see. Virgo. We're coming up on Virgo in about a minute and a half. I personally don't like doing approaches with the autopilot on. So once we get a little bit closer, I just turn it off. And you'll notice on the PFD, it'll actually tell you which heading to go to. It's freaking amazing, like technology.
Technology is nuts.
Yep. But I got about a minute until we get there. We're 1.8 nautical miles into Virgo. So like yeah, basically. So this is a parallel approach. I'm sorry, this is a parallel entry. So we enter Virgo, go out about 4 nautical miles, or just what it says on the GPS, and then we're gonna turn and then go over Virgo, and then we'll be inbound for the approach. And then I'll get on the radio and actually see what we're doing. Miami looks pretty.
I think I gotta raise my textures. It hasn't loaded in.
Oh yeah.
I rendered this thing.
Our clouds are pretty much the same. That's pretty nice. I'm looking at our streams.
Look at my Miami looks a lot different than yours.
Ah, yeah.
It looks like
All right.
Play-Doh.
So, all right, 235. But we're not gonna go 235. We're gonna go 055. So the GPS is kind of messing up. It's automatically telling us because it thinks that we're doing. So it's weird. The PFDs make it look like we're doing a straight-in approach.
Right.
But the MFD is wanting us to do a hold and loop procedure, so I'm just going to do what it says on the chart. So I'm going to do 55.
You're just following the heading track pretty much.
Yep, so if the course inbound is 235 heading, then you know the reciprocal is 055. So I'm going to go out a little bit more. Alright, so we're going to do a right-hand turn. Now remember, standard rate. So on the PFD, on the compass, there's these tick marks on like right next to the heading. You don't want to go past the... You don't want to go past the last tick mark on either side. Then you're not doing standard rate. Always do standard rate. A good standard rate is you would do a 360 in 2 minutes. That's a standard rate.
Look how
No.
close. Oh, those are clouds.
Oh yeah, go ahead and lock you some actual if we get into it.
Some irons.
Yeah. All right, so on the PFD, you'll notice the magenta line. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our little magenta diamond that's right under the heading and try to put it kind of where the CDI needle is at, which is way out here. So in this instant, ATC would tell us to be, you know, they would probably tell us to tell them that we're inbound. Once we get like on course, inbound Virgo, which Virgo is the initial approach fix. Alright. Kind of went up a little bit, which is fine. It's not a big deal. It's just you don't want to be below 3,000. Alright, as you notice, the needle is coming in, so we'll kind of start. This is 12 miles out. Alright, so it's coming in, it's coming in. Alright. Homestead traffic, over 724 Hotel Golf on the 12-mile final RNAV 24 Homestead. Alright. Well, if you look on me, I'm gonna do this with my head down.
Uh-oh.
So, I'm gonna
Hopefully the safety pilot then.
Yep. Alright, so we are in Category A. Category A is 90 knots or below, so you want to kind of be at 90 knots. Depending on where you're at, you can kind of go a little bit faster, depending on, like, let's say you had like a Boeing behind you and ATC's like, I need your best forward speed. You know, you do what you gotta do.
Action.
Yep, so... Alright, so I'm gonna kind of go down because we are building up airspeed. Alright, so before landing checklist, I always say boost gumps because in real life I have my complex endorsement, so I fly the Piper Arrow. So I just kind of say it for redundancy. So boost gumps will be fuel pump, but we're not doing that in here. gas is on fuel, or I'm sorry, on both. Undercarriage, we don't have landing gear. Mixture is rich. Propeller, we don't have that. Seat belts and switches, so I'm gonna put landing and taxi light on, just light up that bitch. Alright, before landing checklist complete.
So basically you just want to follow the flight direction.
Yep.
It doesn't have lateral navigation though, right?
So it has LNAV plus V. So V is your VNAV, but it's plus V, so it's just giving you advisory. But I wouldn't trust it. But so like right now we're going to Who, which is the final approach fix. As long as we're above 1200 before we get over it, then we're fine. So once we hit the final approach fix, then we'll use 1 notch flaps. Alright, so I'm getting too low. Kind of get that back out. And it gets a lot more sensitive the closer you get. Alright, we'll bump up some power just a little bit. Alright, we got about 2.4 miles until Kahoo. Homestead traffic, November 724, Hotel Golf, 6 mile final RNAV 24, Homestead. It's always good to do 2 or 3 calls while you're on the final, just in case someone decides to get in the traffic pattern. Alright, we got 1.2 nautical miles until Kahoo. Alright, so we're going to do the scammer acronym. Alright, you see on the PFD where it says LNAV plus V?
I do see, is that the center bottom?
Yep, so that means that we are able to use LNAV plus V minimums, which is 400. Alright, so scammer source, we got that course. We're following the course 235, as you can tell on the heading. Altitude, we're just following, and we're about to hit Wagyu or Kahoo, staying at 1200, and we are now over. So now you see how the magenta diamond just, yeah, it just got bold. So we'll follow that down. Missed approach. The missed approach is climb to 800, then a climb and left turn 3000, direct jump and hold. Our minimums is 400, and radios, we got that, and we're just going to pretend, since we listened to the ATIS, that we got the ATIS, but we don't, so let's see. The altimeter is still 29er, it's 2997. And then that's it, and then we just follow down, but you see how it's getting a little bit more sensitive?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Alright, and then verbal cues. Alright, so 900 we got, 500 to go. 1 notch flaps. Okay. Remember, it balloons up when you do.
Remember we have those 50-foot trees before the runway.
Yep. That's why minimums exist. Put that nose down. 400 to go.
So pretty much your head goes up at 500 feet?
Nope, at 400.
400? Oh my god.
Yep. We're gonna keep going down. 600. We got 200 to go.
600 cross check.
I'll put my head up in a second. We're almost there.
500, 520.
All right, 500, 100 to go,
500.
and 420, 400. All right, I'm out of the clouds. Perfect. All right, and we're below 85.
I know in real life you're definitely like shitting yourself.
You will in the beginning, and then you just get used to it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I remember my first instrument approach, the first time I ever did one, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm gonna die.
Yep. All right, so we want a stable approach. 65 is what we're looking at. I don't use full flaps since we have all this runway, so I just kind of stick at 20 degrees. We have 4 right. The only reason why I'm a little higher is because we have these trees right here. All right, so now we can start kind of babying out. Baby out that power. We got a little bit of a crosswind to the right. That's not a big deal. All right, 65. All right, now we're over the runway. Okay, power to idle. All right, just hold it. Hold it. Back pressure. Back pressure. Perfect.
Oh yeah. Look at this guy.
Alright.
Exit here off. That was money.
Alright, aerodynamic braking. And it's super hot, so we are going to open up the...
Open up the oven.
We got to open up the window. Alright. So before we make the call, we're gonna go out. Alright. Homestead traffic. November 724 Hotel Golf. Clear of runway 24 on Delta, taxiing to the ramp. Homestead. Alright, so lights, camera, action. Alright, so lights. We'll keep the taxi light on. Camera, we're still at 1200. Transponder. Alright, action. So let's lean out that mixture. And then flaps are up. And then takeoff trim is on neutral. Okay.
Is that a new acronym? I heard that's like a neat thing people keep saying, lights, camera, action.
Yeah, so lights, camera, action. So it's a great hold on. So it's a great checklist before takeoff and after landing. So lights, you know, after you land to turn off your landing light, but keep your taxi light on.
Right.
Your camera is your transponder, so make sure it's on 1200. It's on 1200, and then action. That's your flaps, trim. I would add in mixture. Make sure it's leaned. You don't want to have full mixture when you're on the ground, especially at sea level, because all you're doing is you're suspecting yourself to your spark plugs fouling.
And then did the oh no, my engine went out.
Yeah.
I like how there's a whole Delta aircraft on my screen.
Oh, is there?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Hello airliner. Well, that's Air Canada. Never mind.
Air Canada? What are you doing, Air Canada?
You're on the wrong continent, buddy.
Alright. Alright, so let's go to the main ramp. So we'll cut through here.
Beep, beep. We just crossed the non-movement area. We don't have to say our intentions anymore.
Nope.
We can
Dang,
hear-
this...
Can you do
Yeah,
a
dude.
wheelie?
A wheelie?
Yeah. I know in the 152 you can do a wheelie. You just crank it and pull it up. You just gotta like, There you go. Hey, oh.
I almost went airborne. I was trying not to go airborne. Alright. This is what we're gonna do. We're rolling. I'm gonna turn everything off. Alright, mixer.
Just roll. Whee. Uh-oh.
Don't do that in real life, boys and girls.
Please.
Alright, so everything is off, mixture's off, ignition off, and then let's turn off the avionics.
Dope. Oh yeah.
And that's it.